Thank you very much, David.
Sure.
So our second presentation is from a slightly more mature startup. It's going to be given by Sunil Vemuri. Sunil's been working at this quite some time, actually I think even back to his PhD. I remember very well Sunil being in the laboratory, and I've missed him greatly. We had many deep conversations about memory augmentation and what you could do to help people out. And I've been really happy to watch and see that Sunil has kept up with that and turned it into a company and turned it into a product. So why don't you tell us more about it, Sunil?
Thank you. So as Henry indicated, the problem that I work on, and I've worked on at the lab, and I continue to work on, continue to be passionate about, is technology that helps people remember better. So when I was at the lab, I built what was called a memory prosthesis. And this is an example of a mobile technology that's intended to supplement your biological memory to help everyday memory problems, things like forgetting facts, etc. So what we did with this thing is we built a device. I carried it with me for years, collected a large data set, and then did the experiment to find out what would it mean if you had this data set and were able to do Google-like searches on your past anytime you forgot. Well, luckily, it worked out. And so we had a retrieval interface. We did an experiment, longitudinal experiment, to find out all of that. Now, another consequence of all this was this project got some press, and from places like CNN, Newsweek, New York Times. And as a result, the public got wind of this. And I received a lot of feedback from individuals who were describing some of their struggles with their memory and were asking me, hey, when can I get this thing? How can I get this thing? So after I graduated, I joined with two other people, one of which was a former colleague at Apple, and formed a company to try to productize this idea of having technology that helps you with everyday memory problems. Now, a couple of things that differ from the memory prosthesis as a research project versus the memory prosthesis as a real product is we had to make some adjustments. Now, as I mentioned, I recorded everything that was going on in my life, and I was focusing heavily on audio. But here, what we did is we said, don't record everything. Let people pick and choose the things that they want to remember. Also, when we tried to productize this thing, we wanted to not have software that people had to have. So it was something as simple as dialing a telephone number and saying what you wanted to remember. And second, and the last thing is that we didn't want to focus on just those times when you knew you forgot something and wanted to go and find it, but also handled situations where you have a memory problem where you don't even realize it's happening. Like you go to the store, you forget to buy something there, you come back, and half an hour later you realize, oh, geez, forgot that. So what I'd like to do next is David Pogue of the New York Times produced a wonderful video showing reQall in action, and I'd like to show that. Volume, please.
Attention, busy people 10 years of age and older. Has this ever happened to you?
Happy anniversary, honey!
It was yesterday, you moron.
Do you find yourself losing track of your own life?
Yeah, hello?
Hi, Dave. We're all here in the conference room. You on your way to the meeting?
What meeting?
You know, the one that you scheduled.
Is today's complex lifestyle too much for you to handle?
I thought you said you were going to pick her up at 3. I kind of lost track of the time. Thank you. So, honey, how's the play date?
It was great, Dad! For the first 8 hours or so?
Maybe you need a little help with your reQall. That's reQall with a Q. With reQall, you don't have to entrust ideas, appointments, and to-do items to scraps of paper or the back of your mind. Just sign up for a free account at reQall.com and then dial away.
Hi, it's reQall. Do you want to add, share, or reQall?
Add. Pick up daughter at 4:00 p.m. on Tuesday. Then marvel as reQall turns your voice into typed text. It shows up on the web, in your daily emailed agenda, on your Google or Outlook calendar, on your iPhone or your BlackBerry, all unlimited and all for free. If you sign up for the Pro version, $25 a year, you can even get reminders on your cell phone 30 minutes ahead of time. Both the free and the Pro versions recognize key words like buy.
Buy fried chicken, mac and cheese, and ice cream.
reQall builds a shopping list for you. Have it read back to you. or sent as a text message when you get to the store. Start your sentence with tell or remind wife to pick up my refill of cholesterol pills. And you can bug somebody else. They get notified by email or text message, and you don't have to think about it anymore. If you have an iPhone or BlackBerry with GPS, reQall even recognizes your location and brings reminders to the top of the list when you're in the neighborhood. Finally, you can get your life organized for the low, low price of free.
Wow, you remembered my mother's birthday. Honestly, that's amazing. You're like a new man lately.
Well, it's just a matter of putting a little extra mental effort into it.
I think we should celebrate. How about Tuesday night?
Sure, that sounds great. Tuesday night.
What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. Nothing.
All right. So thanks to David Pogue for doing that for us. This describes what our vision, our mission statement here is. We believe computers create a lot of the memory problems that we experience today, with all the communication that we have to deal with, all the little nuggets of information we need to keep track of, and are not playing a large enough role in helping manage all of that. And so part of what we're trying to do here is to make the computer play a more active role on it. Now, the amount of information exceeds our abilities, our human capacity, our memory, our ability to process it, et cetera. Human assistant used to be the way this thing happens, but this is becoming more of an increasing luxury. Now, there's too much of our effort that's dedicated to things like memorization as opposed to thinking about the broader perspective of the information that's being brought to us. And we like to free our minds to worry about those things as opposed to trying to remember detailed facts. But we believe mobile technology has now reached the point where it can actually play a significantly larger role in all of this. So in the video, as you saw, how it works is you quickly get something out of your mind in what is sometimes called the privilege of forgetting, the ability to get it out of your mind, put it someplace safe, and let something else take the responsibility. Now, a couple of the other things that were alluded to in the video is this analysis piece that we do. We look for keywords, dates, times, people's names, places, etc., so we can figure out when is the best time to send you that memory reminder of this thing. And that's what this jog thing is. This is a technology that we've developed that tries to automatically determine the best time, place, situation to remind you. It uses things like your current location or looks forward in your calendar. For example, if you have a meeting coming up later on in the afternoon, that's when it tries to position not the fact that you have a meeting, yes, we'll do that, but also what are some interesting pieces, nuggets of information that would be relevant for that meeting. You know, the people who are going to be there, some of their interests, some of the sales forecasts if it's a business meeting, or students, some of the notes that they might want to recall before an exam or a lecture, etc. And this other piece here, Memory Boost, refers to this proactive aspect of it, where we try to predict when you are going to forget something, and try to position reminders for you ahead of time for that. Just to give you a sense as to the market that we think that the market potential this has, when we look at a variety of mechanisms people currently use for memory aids, things like sending yourself an email message or writing on a Post-it note or SMSing yourself, and we've asked around, a lot of people have this behavior. I wouldn't be surprised if many of these in the audience have this. There are tens of trillions of utterances per year. Now, if we were to take a conservative estimate of 0.1% of these things are memory related, there's still 250 billion per year, and we want to traffic all of that. So the reception for reQall has been quite nice. We've had users who've been very enthusiastic about having a tool like this, the ability to get things out of your mind and come back. So we have many stories of how this thing can be used in things like healthcare applications, education, work, etc. And also, recently, IBM has declared forgetting as one of the 5 objectives that they want to have in the next 5 years. And so we're seeing an increasing interest in the industry for people wanting solutions for this particular problem. We have a worldwide team. We're about 40 people strong right now. We have, we're fortunate to have people like Don Norman be our chief mentor, and on our advisory board, Gordon Bell, Peter Cochran, Doug Solomon, etc. And so, finally, I'll just conclude with a couple points. One, as Dave Pogue mentioned, it is free, but we also have a pay-for version as well. So I invite you all to just go to our website and sign up and try it. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback about this. We're also looking for companies who are interested in positioning reQall inside their companies to handle the kind of memory problems that you might be facing. And also, we're looking for partnerships with groups like mobile carriers or handset manufacturers to bundle reQall as part of a package to offer their customers. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sunil.